Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel and All Seasons Homestead. In case you're new, I'm Joanna. This week's video is going to be about decorating my home with thrifted finds and things that I've already had. I don't believe I've spent hardly any money. All I did was move things around, so I'm going to take you along with me. I hope that you will have the time to join me for a little while. I'm going to start by showing you these marigolds that I picked from my garden outside. I thought that they represent fall very well. Just a natural element from the garden, something I already had, and it's just beautiful, and they last here for quite a while, a couple of weeks. They just stay very vibrant, and I really feel like that is a beautiful touch of fall. We just finished this faux mantel fireplace for our living room. I already had that shelf with the curvy detail, so I had an idea just to reuse that and try to make a little fake fireplace area. My husband helped me put that together a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't even decorated it at all because I got sick. So decorating for the fall will be the first time I'm going to style this little fireplace area. And I'm actually just going to reuse most of the items that I've already had. I'm starting with my vintage mirror that I actually already had in my living room on the same shelf, and I considered changing it out for a piece of artwork, but I really like how the color of the frame looks for fall, so I decided to put that back first. And then I'm going to reuse my oil lamps, and I usually use the oil lamps all the time in the fall and winter because we actually use them. This little black primitive box, I just thrifted that. I believe is in my last thrift haul. So I can't remember how much it was, maybe $1. I'd have to go back and watch my own video. But pretty much, I think I've only used a couple of new thrifted items. Everything else I've already had. And I didn't really even have a vision or think about what I was going to do. I just started grabbing the objects that I already had in the living room or around the house, and I just briefly played with them. And I didn't really have to redo the area. I was happy enough with it. So I put the primitive black box, and then I put a brown book and a doily and some baby's breath, dried baby's breath. I did have one vision for this area. I wanted to have browns and blacks and creams, and then I wanted to put some artwork with simple sketches of trees. So everything kind of has like a brown and black theme. But I looked and I looked and I looked for some sketches, and I couldn't find anything that I liked. And I do draw. I used to do a lot of artwork back in the day, but I think I could have drawn up a sketch for the amount of time that I was searching for a sketch, if that makes sense. But I just didn't get that done. So when I got my basics, my foundation set up, I looked at it and I wanted to keep it simple, but it also showed me some gaps. So later I'm going to buy some white pumpkins and just fill it in a little bit more. And I also hung these dried yarrow flowers. I really like using dried flowers in the fall. So I liked how my little fireplace mantle turned out. We routed this piece of wood here, and I thought it made a nice little detail. I do want to paint the mantle a little bit darker of a white, but for now I'm going to leave it this bright crisp white and maybe paint it later. Another place I'm going to move on to is my rustic trunk that we have. We use this for a coffee table, and I have my greenish pink hydrangeas from my bushes. And I think green is just fine for fall, but I'm going to go ahead and switch them out for this brownish pink color. I decided just to reuse the green hydrangeas for the kitchen area, at least for a while longer, but I do really like this brownish color. I think it turned out really nice in here. Then this is by our kitchen table. and I'm going to remove this beautiful handcrafted bowl from somebody I know, and it has these beautiful little flowers on it, and I feel like it's very spring-like. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this away, and I grabbed a stack of bowls that I already had from another shelf, and they're browns and white, and then the bottom bowl is a brownish crackled or crazed brown color to it. I just love these bowls, and I just thought it was very simple. I didn't even have to think about it. So I'm going to add the green hydrangeas to this area, and then I stacked one more cream picture to the top just to hold the hydrangeas. And I may remove these hydrangeas later and add some more brownish florals of some kind, but I'm still thinking about it. This circle grapevine, dried grapevine, I thrifted this a while back, and I forgot to add that to one of my thrift hauls. And anything dry I just really like for the fall, so I added that to this area. And then other than that, I kept it very simple, and I am going to leave my green plant. I think some people like to remove all their green plants, but I have to have at least one plant in each room, something green. This is another plate that was on my last thrift haul, and I was going to sell this in my booth, but I decided to go ahead and use it, and I'm very happy that I did. I just think it's another very simple piece, and it's the whitish cream color. I just added some simple candles, and then I added these pine cones, and that's all I did to it. I had some other ideas about maybe putting some ribbons around the candles or putting some more dried florals in there, but I just left it like this, very simple, and the brown pine cones kind of bring out the brown crazing in the plate. The next thing I'm going to work on is removing these candle shelves. I think it looks really good. I mean, I definitely think I could just leave them for fall because I feel like candles are very appropriate for the fall and winter. But I wanted to actually put the artwork on both sides of the mantle. I have this piece right here, and it's my very favorite piece of art. I still think it feels kind of spring-like because it's actually a picture of the shepherd and his sheep, and it's green. But I feel like the colors are so muted and moody that I'm just going to go ahead and leave it here for a while. And then, like I said, I had a vision of having plain sketches, and I wanted to put them in these two frames. I love the color of the frames, but it did seem a little bit too bold next to my fireplace, so I'm going to leave those there and just think about them. The next thing I'm going to do is wash up these other thrifted items. This little coaster, wooden coaster, I'm so happy to have it. I only paid $1, and this clock was, I don't know, just like a few pennies probably, because it's in one of those boxes at the market where you just throw everything in the box, and it's like $5 for everything in the box. So they're just next to nothing pieces, but the clock works. I'm happy to have it. I think it's really pretty, and I'm really excited about having this little coaster. So I'm going to clean it up really well. It was pretty dusty, and then I'm also going to rub some oil all over it just to make the wood look nice and clean and shiny. Condition the wood a little bit. So I really enjoy the seasons changing. I do like to change out things here and there just to give your eyes something new to look at. Kind of, it feels like you're refreshing your house a little bit. But honestly, sometimes I get a little tired of moving things around and storing them. I actually used to have one tote of fall decorations, and I got rid of probably 95% of what was in that tote. And basically, I will take an item and just put it somewhere else, decorate another part of my house or a shelf or inside my closed hutch. And then I just move things around when I feel like it. I hope that makes sense. It's just I get kind of weary and tired of storing everything away, pulling it out. It just feels like too much work to me. Like these 3 pictures here, I leave these up all year, but I feel like it's most appropriate in the fall because that woman is carrying a bundle of sticks, and it just looks very much like the beginning of winter or end of fall, but it doesn't bother me through the summer or Christmas time, so I just leave it. The next thing I'm going to do is fold up this wool blue blanket, and again, I think that blanket could work just fine for fall because of the texture, and I know some people like to use blues and greens and in their fall decor, and it's perfect. But I had this blanket here also. It's another wool piece, and it's tans, creams, and whites. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch these out because that's what I already have. And then I'll just store the other one away for a while. And I thought about buying new pillowcases. I still might, but pillows are one thing that I struggle with. I'm extremely picky with pillows, and I really wanted to change out these white pillows. They're quite comfortable, and I did go to Hobby Lobby and look for material, and I wasn't happy with anything. So I'm just going to leave the white pillows because they kind of go with that white stripe in the blanket, and they go with the white mantle and these pumpkins. And I may add more to this mantle, but I'm just doing it little by little because I just want to think about it, let it grow on me, and be intentional. And also, I have other things to do. I can't just sit and look at my mantle all day. So I'm just waiting for an idea or a piece of inspiration just to hit me at the right time. The next thing I did outside on the deck was just add a little white pumpkin, and I put those white mums there next to my little rustic drop leaf table. I love this area, and I did actually look for a lot of mums, but they're all huge plants. I wanted some little ones too to scatter in smaller pots, so I will just have to wait for that also. The next place I'm going to do is this little corner in my kitchen, and all I did was take these aprons, which are green, brown, and some little sunflowers, and I'm just going to remove my canning supplies and dried herbs. And all I did was move the aprons from one corner to another corner, and again, it's just the same stuff that I've already had. I didn't have to spend any money, but just switching it to another wall gave my eyes something new to look at. It just felt like an instant refresh to me. I think when we walk around the house, we just get used to things being in the same spot. And I like that. I like the practicality of, hey, you know where your stuff is, and I'm going to go get it, and I know right where it is. But then there's other little things like this that I don't mind switching around, because you can see clearly where it is, and like I said, it just gives your eyes something new to look at. So I'm very pleased with this simple little switch I made. The only thing I did in the bathroom was just put this hand soap, and I usually don't buy frivolous things like this, but I think my daughter really liked the sunflower paper on it, even though when you take it out, the sunflowers will be gone. But it has a really good smell, so that's the only thing I did for the bathroom, was just put that sunflower soap next to my vanity. So I know that the little switches I made have made an impact, because I've noticed when my family goes into the living room that their eyes are looking around. So I know that they're seeing the things that I'm playing with. I didn't like how my two same frames were matching up. So I was just trying a different look. I put the metal one above that one, and I didn't like that either. So again, I'm just going to leave that and think about it. And while I do that, I'm going to remove all my milk glass, because I feel like milk glass is very much for the spring and summer. And then I'm going to remove my little ducky. I hate to move stuff around that I really like, but I did put him away, and I brought back my little chickens. I feel like the colors are more appropriate for the fall. They're just a little darker and warmer. So I put my little ducky away and got them back out. I think I might make a part 2 to decorating for the fall. I still have a few more ideas to play around with if I get the chance. The last place I'm going to do is my corner hutch area, and I think I'm just going to leave the top for now. I know it's a picnic basket, and I don't know if some people associate spring and summer with a picnic basket, but I think it's fall appropriate. That's when the weather cools down. So all I'm going to do is just remove my blue plate, and I love this crazed blue plate with a farm scene on it, but I'm going to replace that with a cream and brown floral print plate and just leave this very simple. Last year I added some tan or maybe light brown colored gingham fabric to my hutch, and I feel like inside my hutch is very much spring color decor, so that's why I added that fabric to that hutch so it looks more cozy and primitive. I may add something to the top of my hutch too, but I need to think about it. So this is where I'm going to leave you guys for today. I appreciate you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment below, and I will see you soon.